Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today, I'm bringing news that has exploded across the media and social networks. Ken Yaman has finally broken years of silence and said something very harsh about his romantic past. That woman was the biggest mistake of my life. And of course, it caused an earthquake. For all this time, no one understood why Ken left Turkey so young, leaving behind his career, his world, and a woman who, according to many, had deeply marked his life. People talked about ambition, pride, escape, but nothing was really clear. Now, for the first time, he himself gives some clues. It wasn't just a change of country, it was almost like abandoning an entire chapter of his life. Italy. Success on the outside, collapse on the inside. From the outside, it looked perfect. A new beginning, international projects, red carpets, worldwide fame. But Ken says, and those who followed him already sensed it, that those first years were cold and lonely, like being applauded in public but empty in private. Over time, he got trapped between two fears: going back to Turkey and being judged, or staying in Italy and feeling increasingly lost. The relationship that sank him. In that fragile moment, a woman entered his life. The tabloids sold it as a passionate story, but for him, it was something else. A distraction, an emotional bandage, a company that healed nothing. Ken describes her as someone with a flashy life, a complicated past, and a huge need for attention. And the worst part, he says, was realizing too late who he was actually with. Here comes the most controversial part. Ken made it clear that what finally opened his eyes was discovering an attitude in her that he found unforgivable. Something that, for him, revealed her character and her way of loving. That's when he understood that life wasn't his, and that the relationship was a mistake. This is the phrase being repeated everywhere today because it expresses a universal pain, choosing wrong, insisting out of pride, and realizing it too late. Ken admits that when he left, he believed what he left behind would still be waiting for him. But life moved on, people changed, and he was left with the shock of reality. The signs were already there. Those who had been following him noticed something strange in recent months. Fewer appearances, more tiredness on his face, a harder look, a longer and longer silence. It wasn't just work. It was the weight of facing his past and admitting his mistake. And now what? Ken doesn't see it as an ending, but as a beginning. He says that after hitting bottom, he understood what he truly wants: peace, sincerity, stability, and real love, without games or masks. And he leaves an idea hanging in the air. Maybe it's time to reconcile with his country, his family, and that part of his life he never fully closed. Closing. In short, years of silence ended with a confession that not only explains many things, but also shows a different Ken, more human and more aware. Now the question is, will this new chapter bring him closer to a return or to a completely different life? Tell me in the comments what you think about all this, because this story is only just beginning. The truth is that when the topic shifts to Demet Özdemir in relation to Ken Yaman, I feel something similar to what I felt with him, but with a different nuance. The focus always ends up sliding toward the sentimental what was, what is, what will be, and that weighs on Demet more than many people imagine. That's why I understand the sharp comments like, "Seriously? Liars?" or "What a lie, that's past." I don't read them as pointless hate, but as a reaction to a cycle that keeps repeating. Every so often, the same story reappears, wrapped in new paper. And once again, People expect Demet to enter the rumor game. I'm also tired of seeing huge conclusions drawn with zero proof, as if her mere proximity to a headline were enough to make her the star of a recycled romance. At the same time, I can't ignore those who say, "I hope it's real." That sentence reveals something very human. Many people want Demet to live a beautiful story because they associate her with a happy time, with on-screen chemistry, with what they represented together, and I truly get that. But I think the public's desire sometimes becomes a cage. Demet is one of those figures who carries other people's expectations. If she smiles, it's a sign. If she stays silent, it's suspicious. If she works abroad, it's distance. If she appears in the same country, it's a reunion. And then comes another comment like, "I don't believe anything, he's in Spain. How did they even meet?" That logistical doubt is so basic, it's almost funny to have to repeat it. But it proves the point. The narrative moves faster than reality. What bothers me most, and here I get serious, is the way she's treated in some of these discourses. That Italian comment saying, "Sara Bluma Demet per Canyaman sembrano dei giocattoli," as if Demet and another woman were toys for Can, feels both revealing and unpleasant. I dislike the way it places Demet on a shelf of options or accessories in a famous man's life. And even if the comment is meant as criticism, it exposes a real problem in the fandom. Demet is often seen through Can's prism, as if her public value depended on that past relationship. I find that unfair. Demet has her own artistic identity, a huge career in Turkey and beyond, and her own way of standing firm in the middle of the noise. She's not an echo of what she was with anyone. In fact, if I look at Demet without the media couple filter, I see a woman who has had to navigate brutal exposure with a rare mix of elegance and stubbornness. Elegance because she almost never plays into the rumor circus. Stubbornness because she keeps working and choosing her projects even when every move she makes is interpreted as a hidden message. And when people label things lie or past, I take it almost as an involuntary defense of her. Let her live without dragging her back into the same chapter again. That's the feeling I get. Demet is constantly pushed backward by a story people don't want to let go of, while she tries to move forward. So my conclusion is very clear. If there is something today between Demet Özdemir and Can Yaman, it's something only they know, and they don't owe it to us. Personally, I don't buy second-hand romantic narratives without facts, especially when I see how they end up reducing Demet to a role that isn't hers. I prefer to see her for what she is, an actress with presence, proven talent, and a career that never needed any ship to exist. It's fine for the public to feel nostalgia. It's fine for some to dream of a real-life fairy tale. But to keep looking at her as if her story were frozen in that series, that feels disrespectful. Demet is no one's past. She is her own present. And I'm much more interested in seeing her build that present than in watching her trapped in an endless rumor.